Welcome to the 2024 Economic Preparation and Depression channel. I'm your host, Tony. Thank you for joining me on this Wednesday, October 2nd, 2020 edition. Well, October has definitely started off with things very hot in terms of what's going on in the news and what's going on with this economy. I hope everyone is well. Hope everyone is blessed. But the U.S. economy is facing a couple of headwinds here as we head into election season. Some are good and some are definitely bad for this economy recovery here that's going on. First, we had our hearts go out to the people in Western North Carolina and Eastern Tennessee that were affected by Helene, as well as those who the landfalling hurricane that made landfall in Florida, those in the Big Bend of Florida as well. Our prayers and thoughts go with those people that lost lives, property. You can replace things, but you can't replace lives. So we definitely send our thoughts and prayers to the families that are affected in that area. And that's another reason why, that a community is so important, and having a community of believers, a community of economic help in times of need, because it could be a while before the big resources of the government like FEMA and all the trucks and trains and planes get there to your location. It could be weeks, and so this is why we preach on this channel. So right now, Reuters shows no signs of U.S. labor market deterioration as job openings rebound. So this article claims that job opening increased to 329,000 to 8 million in August. Remember, these numbers do get revised in the next week or so. We'll see. Hires fall 99,000. Layoffs decrease 105,000. So layoffs are decreasing, but they're still happening. As you know, today, CVS laid off 2,900 workers. And the layoffs continue to mount as we head into the third and fourth quarter of this year. And so a lot of people are trimming the fat before the holidays. A lot of people are cutting back on their spending and getting ready for the holiday season. I noticed that Christmas stuff is already out. Halloween, I saw some Halloween stuff and I saw some things like that. But Christmas stuff, some stores are already putting out Christmas stuff and hoping to juice or spur this economy and the spending. But most Americans are spending more. Most Americans are spending less, I should say, than they usually would do around this coming time. Now, this article spends it and says more jobs than job seekers in the U.S. You can see here a spike here after the pandemic. The number of jobs went down in 2020, 2021. Now it's going back up, supposedly. But these jobs are low paying, low skilled. You can't, you can probably feed a family, but you'll be very tight in terms of, the main five basics that everybody wants is housing, transportation, healthcare, retirement, and just, saving so they can invest in a booming, supposedly a booming stock market, a booming economy. And that's just not happening, ladies and gentlemen. We can see that even with this rate cut, why are we have to cut rates 50 basis points when two more rate cuts that the Federal Reserve is going to make here, as you can see, if we're going into a booming jobs here. So this chart is totally false. The numbers are being doctored up and fixed up, as you know, for this election season and other things going on. So everybody has a lot of self-interest in the next few weeks here. And with truckers, the trucking industry hurt here. They have to go around, I-81. They have to go up through the mountains, go around back to 77 because I-40 is still closed in certain parts, as long as I-26 as well, going through South Carolina, North Carolina, and the upstate into the mountains. It's going to be closed through late 2025, according to NC North Carolina Department of Transportation. So this is going to cause a lot of problems. And now we have the Dockworkers strike that could, quote, cost the economy $4.5 billion per day and rekindle inflation. Listen, I'm all for paying our hardworking Americans in the ports, the planes, the rail strike. But if the rail workers got back to work and they resolved their strike, why can't the Dockworkers do that? And they're asking for a 77% raise, when most Americans only get between 2 to 3% raise, if you can call it that. It's more of a COLA, a cost of living adjustment, as you know. It's just too much right now. And with everything going on from the hurricane season and the peak of this month, and with supply chains already stressed and strained because we import about 75% of our goods and services anyway, I just question the timing of this strike that's going on, especially on the East Coast ports. When we have the West Coast, the good news is we have the West Coast ports still open, as you know, and they worked out a deal. But everybody's frustrated. Everybody wants to make more money, and that's understandable. Whatever career, whatever job you work in, it's never enough. That's part of the capitalism, fiat currency type of thing. But this union here is basically, they're not just protesting the pay, they're protesting the automation taking over the job. But what they don't understand is that automation was automatically here to come. This has been going on for the last 10 to 15 years. Is that once they shipped all our jobs overseas to all of these places like China, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam, etc., that meant that they were never going to replace fully the U.S. worker status, and that they were going to import workers. Obviously, they've been doing that too, but now they got the automation. So we have a double-headed monster here that's already here. Now it's just being seen here. So instead of replacing these workers, they're going to end up just automating anyway, regardless. It's inevitable, as you and I know, ladies and gentlemen. And so this is going to cost all of our economies big. Ports from New England to Texas could cost the U.S. economy up to $4.5 billion daily and reignite inflation. You went into Target, you went into Costco, Sam's, BJ's, you name it, these wholesale places, right? We went in there and you see that what you see missing first. You start seeing toilet paper, hand towels, milk, eggs, things of that is going to be going shortage. Bananas, whatever, fruits and vegetables are going to start missing soon if this strike continues. We have 45,000 members of the International Longshoremen's Association that walked out on the job seeking higher pay and labor protections against automation. They're not going to get either one right now, because right now we have too many people that's unemployed that be willing to go to the dock right now and work for $35 an hour, which is considered great pay, above average, above minimum wage for sure. And they'll do that all day long. And we also are not going to get automation going away. The companies are not going to go, because they're proving that, because robots don't strike. You don't have to pay robots healthcare. You don't have to get them retirement benefits, etc. And so they're actually proving a point of the big businessman, that the billionaires, that hey, we can just get robots. They don't complain. They don't file grievances, and they can do work twice as fast. And that's what the Chinese have done in their big port. The last strike is back in October 1977. So wow, it's way back then, and that lasted 44 days. I'm not sure how long this one will last. It probably will magically get resolved, because I don't know how much reserves these people have in terms of, can they go a couple weeks without a paycheck, or if the union's paying them. I don't know if they're paying them. Maybe they are. I've never been in that position. But the bottom line is that this is going to be interesting, and they're saying that the Federal Reserve could hold off on rate cuts later this year, the last one November, December, if they figure out their supply chain disruptions, and that leads to more inflation beyond their 2%. We could have a big problem on our hands well beyond the election. Gold prices soar on safe haven demand. As you know, gold is above $2,600 right now, and now with the Middle East conflict, it's only going to rise even more, ladies and gentlemen. $2,665. Gold is still on track for a close this year somewhere around $2,900 possibly. And this is very interesting, and silver's going to be along for the ride. Maybe silver can get to $35-$40 before the year is said and done. But the bottom line is that you need to find some way to protect your wealth, and to protect your investments, to protect to live and get the basics. Now, I told you that companies are closing. They continue to close here. Levi Strauss, according to CNBC, trims guidances as it weighs the sale of Dockers businesses. So they're selling the Dockers businesses. A lot of these retail companies are going to be either merging or folding, I believe. Just like Rite Aid filed for bankruptcy, it's just going to be one or two big players in a lot of these spaces, and this is what we had in the 1920s. You remember, a lot of companies merged or they folded under, and they printed up a lot of stock options to buy each other out so they can go. So a lot of these numbers are going to be doctored up and fixed up as a result of what's happening with this economy. So continue to be strong. Get the basics. Like I said, food, water, medicine, solar or electric gas generators, dual fuel generators, because all these things are not going to be available probably in the next 6 to 12 months. Or they're going to be available at a higher price than what you normally would pay, because this economy is on its way down. These are the perfect excuses right now with the strikes going on. People are dissatisfied with pay. People are dissatisfied with work conditions. All of this is going to continue to lead to a deterioration. It's not just America, people. It's worldwide. The prices are going up worldwide, whether you're in Australia, Europe, Middle East, Africa, Brazil, you name it. Prices are going up worldwide because everybody's feeling it with the same conditions here. So continue to prepare. I'll be back with more information later on this week with the jobs number that will come out on Thursday. And God bless. I'll talk to you soon.